Good morning, everyone. Our next topic is Hamiltonian cycle. Identifying the Hamiltonian cycle using backtracking method. Uh, that is to identify the Hamiltonian cycle in a given graph using backtracking method. You all have already studied about Hamiltonian cycle, so you know what is Hamiltonian cycle in a graph. So if this is the given graph, a closed path is nothing but a cycle. Hamiltonian cycle is nothing but if you start from one vertex and go to all the other vertices and come back to the same vertex, then that kind of path we call it as Hamiltonian cycle. And in the previous class, we studied about traveling salesman problem. Uh, Traveling salesman problem also deals with the same thing. We start with one vertex, go to all other vertices and reach to the same initial vertex. But there we will be talking about minimization, cost minimization. That is, with minimum cost tour, we have to reach the same vertex. Starting from the same vertex, we'll travel to all other vertices and come back to the same vertex with minimum cost. That is traveling salesman problem. Whereas Hamiltonian cycle means it will identify all the cycles that are present in the graph. All the cycles such that you have to start from one vertex and come back to the same vertex. Okay. Start from one vertex, come back to the same vertex, covering all other vertices that are present in the graph. You can see here, I have already written one cycle here. We'll start with 1, 2. Okay, sorry. Okay, in this cycle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1 again. So this is one cycle. We have covered all the vertices. And here we are talking about the undirected graph. It may be directed graph also. So this is one cycle for this graph. And one more cycle you can see. 1, 2, 6, 5, 4, 3, and then again 1. Okay, this is one more cycle. See, you should not come from 3 to 2. Each and every vertices we have to travel only once. Okay, so this is one more cycle. And this one, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 1. Okay, this is another cycle. See, compared to previous one and this one, is there any difference between these two cycles? You just observe these two cycles. Okay, here we started with 1, 2, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 1. Here 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 1. But cycle is same. Okay, cycle is same. See, cycle means it will keep repeating. Okay, so it's a duplicate cycle. Okay, path is same. Either you go from 1, 3, 4, 6 to 1 or 1, 2, 6, 4, 3 to 1. It's a cycle, right? So here these two, this one is different. First one. Here both are same. Okay. So whenever you are asked to identify the Hamiltonian cycles in the given graph, these duplicate cycles should not be there. Okay, it's a duplicate cycle. Same thing we are written here. So it's a duplicate cycle. This only one you have to write down, not both the things, because cycle is same. Okay, next one more cycle is possible. That is 1, 6, 2, 5, 4, 3, 1. Okay, this is one more cycle possible for this given graph. Similarly, there are a few other cycles which you may draw in this graph. Okay, so this is we are doing manually. Same thing we have to do with the help of backtracking algorithm or backtracking approach. Okay, identify the Hamiltonian cycles in the given graph. So that is our task, to identify the possible cycles that are present in this given graph using the backtracking method. Okay, if the graph is simple with 2, 3, 4 vertices, you can easily do it. When graph gets complicated, it's better to go with a proper approach. Okay, so this is also one of the cycles that are present in the given graph. In the exam, if they give you the graph and identify the Hamiltonian cycles, then properly you will just see the graph and try to identify the cycles, and then you can solve it using backtracking. Okay, and there is a lab program also associated with this topic. So I will just explain the lab code also along with the theory, so that it will cover both lab and theory. Okay, there is a lab program. I guess program number 10 or 11th, 12th program, I guess. Okay, so this is the lab program number 12. Your task is to identify the possible Hamiltonian cycles in the given graph, and with one particular starting vertex. Okay, you have to give from which vertex you are trying to identify. If you give that vertex number, it will show you the all Hamiltonian cycles possible in that particular graph. Okay, that's the lab program. And you can see here, for this graph, if I ask you to find out the Hamiltonian cycle, there is no Hamiltonian cycle here. Okay, because if you start from here, you go here, you can go here, but again, to reach the vertex 1, there is no path. You have to go through 2 itself. If you are tracing the vertex again, then it's not the Hamiltonian cycle. Okay, for this graph, there is no Hamiltonian cycle. Let's see how we can solve it using backtracking. This is the given graph. 5 vertices are there, and its possible cycles are, these are the possible cycles for this particular graph. Let's see, with the help of backtracking also, can we identify these cycles in the graph? I'm talking with respect to starting from the vertex 1. Okay. So these are the few cycles which I have noted down. Let's see with our backtracking method how many cycles we can go through. So this is the given graph. For that graph, this is the adjacency matrix. See, if there is a path, I have written 1. If there is no path, we have written 0. 1 to 1, there is no path. 1 to 2, there is a path. So 1. 1 to 3, there is an edge. So 1. 1 to 4, there is no path. So it is 0. 1 to 5 is also connected. Similarly, you know how to write the adjacency matrix, right? So similarly, wherever there is path between the vertices, or there is a edge between the vertices, we'll write 1. Rest of the values are 0. So these two functions are very important in the program. So our solution follows these two methods itself. Same code is there in the program also. Whatever program we'll implement, same part, same code is used there also. In the exam, if they ask you to write down the algorithm for Hamiltonian cycle using backtracking algorithm, if they ask, you need to write this pseudo code itself. It's not exact code. I have 1 or 2 things are missing here. So you can write this itself. You can write it as pseudo code in the exam. Okay. First function is a Hamilton function. Inside this function, I will call one more function called as next value. That is to identify the next vertex in the cycle. So next value function you will be calling. So these two are the important functions in the program. While solving this thing manually, I will show you in the code how it works. Okay, with respect to the code also. Is it clear? I'll be covering both lab aspect as well as the theory here. So we shall start with the program solution. There will be an array X. Okay, very important array. We have to take an array X wherein, see, this first value will be obviously 1. That is, we are starting with vertex 1. I am trying to find out all the possible cycles in this graph, starting with the vertex 1. Okay, here first value will be 1 itself, vertex 1. Okay, start value that I will assign it as, I will read it from the keyboard. In the program, if I ask, start value will be 1. So cycle will start with 1 and it has to end with 1, traveling through all other vertices. Okay, 1 followed by 2, 3, 4, 5 or 5, 4, 3, 2 or any combination. And it has to end with 1. So that is the cycle. Is it clear? So this X is an array with 5 values. So first value will be 1. Our task is to find out the rest of the values combinations here. So it will be almost n-1 factorial possible combinations here. N-1 means n-1 factorial. So complexity will be n to the power of n. This Hamiltonian cycle identification in backtracking means it will complexity is n to the power of n, O of n to the power of n. Okay, so X array keeps track of the cycles that are present in the graph. So now all the values are initialized to 0. We shall start with the, see, vertex 1, starting vertex, that is 1. We'll take it. So we will be starting with the second vertex. Okay, we'll be starting with the second vertex. You can see here, first I will be calling this function Hamilton by passing the k value. So what is that k value? That k value is nothing but 2. Okay, I'm calling this function Hamilton by passing the k value. What is that k value? Is nothing but 2. That is the second vertex. I have to find out which vertex will come to this second place. Is it clear? First place is vertex number 1. There is no confusion there. We are starting the cycle from the first vertex. So in that array, that first value will be 1. We'll be starting the cycle from first vertex. So this is the first, 1 is the first value there in that array. Next, I have to identify the remaining vertices. So k value is 2. I am starting from the second location. I need to find out in this second location which vertices will come. Is it clear? So that is how our program starts, or our solution starts for this particular task. Okay, there is an array X. X is an array. It will store the values of all the vertices that may generate the cycle. So 1, first value is 1 and k is equal to 2. We'll be calling the Hamilton function. Okay, in the lab program also it proceeds in the similar way. Okay, k is equal to 2. Is it clear? So I will call a Hamilton function once I read this adjacency matrix. Once I read the starting vertex, then I will call this Hamilton function by passing the value 2. K is equal to 2. Then we'll start drawing the state space tree. Backtracking means, see, that tree, it is not compulsory you have to draw the tree, but it will be easy for you also to understand how the tree proceeds. State space tree, since we are starting with a vertex 1, root node will be 1. Okay, state space tree will start. Its root node will be 1. So our next task is to which vertex has to come here. Okay, which vertex will come here. First, See, as I said, we'll pass the value 2 here. Once you pass the value 2, you can see here do while loop is there. So this will be executed until while condition is true. And we have set that condition to true. So this loop will be keep running. And here also do while loop is there. Where condition is true, it will be keep running. Okay, these things will keep run. Either you have to return from this function or break out here. So those conditions are given inside the if conditions. Okay, to come out of this while loop. So once you call this Hamilton function, immediately it will call the next value function or next vertex you can call. Because I want to find out the next vertices in the given cycle. Already first vertex we have identified. Next vertex we have to identify. So I will call the next value function. So in the next value function, what happens is x of k is equal to x of k is k value is 2 now. Okay, x of 2. See, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, array index starts with 0. This first value we have left blank. Okay. So array index, when I say 2, here it is second place itself, because first location x of 0 we have not used it, we have discarded it. So array we have taken n plus 1 itself. X of 2 is, I am talking about the second location in the array. X of 2 is equal to x of 2 plus 1. Already what is there in the x of 2? It is 0 is present. 0 plus 1. 0 plus 1 means I will just store the value 1 here. See, for every location, what we are doing is we'll first insert 1 and then check, and then insert 2 and then check 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll insert all the vertex values and then we'll check whether it comes to that particular position or not. So I will put 1 here. Once you put 1, you have to check whether there is an edge between 1 and 1. Okay, you can see 1 to 1 there is no edge, so 1 will not come here. Okay, 1 will not come here. Is it clear? Here 1 will not come. So do while is there. Again, x of k is equal to 2 is equal to x of k plus 1. Already 1 is there. 1 plus 1 is 2. Now that value will become 2. This mod n plus 1, I will explain as the program proceeds. I will explain it. We'll understand it later. N plus 1 is n value is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 1 mod 6 is also 1. 2 mod 6 is also 2. So here it will not matter much. You'll see in the further process why this mod is required. So first we tried for vertex 1. 1, 1, there is no edge. So it proceeds further. Now that value will become 2. Okay, that value will become 2. Next thing is you have to check here 1 is there, whether there is an edge between the previous vertex and this present value. Now present value is 2 and the previous vertex was 1. 1 to 2, there is an edge. 1 to 2, there is an edge means 1 to 2. So this value is 1. Obviously, there is an edge between 1 to 2. So you can consider 2 in this place. Okay, because there is an edge, so you can consider 2 in this place. See, that is what we are checking here. If there is no edge, we'll return. Okay, if x of k is 0, if x of k is 0, then we'll return. Otherwise, this is where we are checking whether there is an edge or not. X of k is 2. X of k minus 1 is 1. So 1 to 2. G is our graph. So G of 1 to 2, whether it's 1 or not, we are checking. Yes, so there is an edge. Okay, there is an edge. If there is an edge, then what we'll check is, see here again, these conditions will not become true. Once these conditions become true, I will show you. Okay, so there is an edge here. So second value is nothing but 2 itself. So first place is 1, second one is 2. 1 and 1 will lead to the vertex 2. Is it clear? So from 1 we have arrived at 2 and we'll go to next value. Okay, next. Here also first we'll start with 1. Okay, we'll start with 1 and this 1 should not be present before. Okay, if I write 1 here, it should not be present in this array. So 1 is already there in the array. So 1 will not take here. I will next try for 2. 2 should not be already present in the array, but 2 is already present. So we'll not take 2 here. And then I will write 3. It will, for every location, it will start with 1, 2, 3. It will go like this. Next, I will write 3. Okay, 3. 2 to 3, whether there is an edge or not. 2 to 3. Yes, 2 to 3, there is an edge. So we can take 3 here. Okay, we can take 3 at this location. See, that is what it will check each time. This condition will check whether there is an edge between the current vertex and the previous vertex. Okay, 2 to 3, there is an edge. So we can take 3 here. So one more edge will come, 3. Next location. Again, for every location, it will start with 1 and then it will go to 2 and then 3. Okay, third vertex also already it is included in the graph cycle. So we'll take 4 here. When you take 4, again you check 3 to 4 whether there is an edge or not. 3 to 4, yes, there is an edge from 3 to 4. So we can consider fourth vertex at this location. So we can consider fourth vertex at that location. And then final place. Again, here also you have to start with 1, 2, 3, 4 also not possible. Then we'll take 5 here. Okay, at this location we'll take 5. If you take 5 here, check whether there is an edge between 4 to 5. 4 to 5, yes, there is an edge. Okay, you can see here 4 to 5 there is an edge. So we can consider 5 here. So this fifth location will insert 5. Okay, once you insert 5, see this is the last location. Okay, this is the last location, that is k is equal to now n. N value is number of vertices is 5. K is equal to 5. This last condition, k is equal to n. Okay, when k is equal to n, k is equal to 5, then you have to check one condition. X of n means x of n is nothing but 5. Okay, and x of 1, that is 5 to 1 in the graph. 5 to 1, you have to check whether there is an edge or not. X of n is nothing but x of n value is 5 now. We are at the fifth location, 5. From 5 to 1 in the graph, if there is an edge, what does that indicate? See, in the final location, I have written 5. X of n, comma, this 1, x of 1. X of n, comma, x of 1 means we'll check the graph whether there is an edge or not. So this condition will check that final condition. It will return, and then what you will do here also, we'll come back to here. Here it will check if k is equal to n. Yes, k is now 5. 5 is equal to 5. Print. Printing what? What you are printing? We are printing the array. Why we are printing the array here? When this is equal to 5, so I will take 5 here. When this is equal to 5, then it is a cycle. Okay. When you reach the last location, and then you have to check that last location value. Here now 5 is there. Otherwise it may be 1, it may be 2, 3, 4, anything. From there you have to check whether you have an edge to the vertex 1. If there is an edge from 5 to 1, then this is a cycle. Okay, we found out the first cycle in our graph, which is nothing but this cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. and again 5 to 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 to 1. First cycle you have found out, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1. First cycle you have identified in the given graph. Is it clear? When this loop, this condition will check that one, x of n and x of 1 in the graph. If it is equal to 1, then it clearly indicates that we have arrived at the vertices order which represent the cycle in the given graph. Is it clear? Is it clear? So now k value is 5. So that is first part is over. Next, k value is 5. See, this is do while loop. Again, it will be keep continuing. Only one cycle we have identified. We have 8 more cycles are there in this graph. We need to identify those graphs. Now k value is 5. Here 5 plus 1. Okay. See, k value is 5. X of k. Again, graph will continue the program from this location. Okay, we'll continue the program from this location. X of k value is 5 is equal to x of k plus 1, 5 plus 1, 5 plus 1. X of k is already 5 is there, 5 plus 1, mod n plus 1. Now, this is 6, mod 6. This value is also 6. 6 mod 6. What is 6 mod 6? 6 mod 6 is nothing but it will find out the remainder. Remainder is 0. So this is where until now mod function we have not used. It was there, but its purpose was not met. Now 6 mod 6, the remainder is 0. So in the next iteration, x of k will become 0. See, we have to find out the other cycles. So array we have to find out the all next possible combination. So this value will become 0. And then we'll go back. Okay, this value will become 0. We'll go back and find out in this location what vertices should be there. Okay. So here, instead of 4, we'll check for 5. Okay, we'll check for 5. We'll change this 4 to, see, x of k plus 1, 5. It will become 5. We'll check for 5 in this location instead of 4. If it is 5, that is 3 to 4. Instead of 3 to 4, we'll check for 3 to 5. When you write down 5 here, you have to check whether there is an edge between 3 to 5. 3 to 5, there is no edge. Okay, there is no edge. So this also, you cannot put 5 here. So it will be 0. And we'll go back again here. See, 2 to 3 already we have checked. Next, instead of 2 to 3, we'll check for 2 to 4. Okay, 2 to 4. 2 to 4. Okay, 2 to 4, there is an edge. 2 to 4, there is an edge. So you can write 4 here. 2 to 4. 2 to 4 edge is there. Next, we have to check for this location. Here, see, it will check, just like previous algorithm. It will search for 1. It will check for 2. 1 is already there in this array. 2 is also already there in this array. It will try for 3. Okay, it will put 3 here. 3 is not there in the array. 4 to 3. 4 to 3. Okay, there is an edge. So you can write 4 to 3. Next, last location. It will check for 1. 1 is already there. 2 is already there. 3 is also already there. 4 is also already there. So obviously this location value should be 5. But if you take 5 here, 3 to 5, there is no edge. So you cannot take 5. So this path you cannot take because it will not lead to cycle. See, backtracking. First we came in this path. Next we checked whether any possible combination from 4 from 3 it is possible, nothing is possible. So we went back to second vertex. Now again 5 is not possible, so this value will become 0. Okay, this location will become 0. That is 4 to 3 is not possible. 4 to one more combination is there, that is 4 to 5. So we shall check that one. Instead of 3 we can write 5 here and then check whether cycle is possible in this case. 4 to 5, yes, 4 to 5 there is an edge. You can write 5 here. But again in the last location what will come? It will come 3 itself. 5 to 3 there is no edge, so this is also not possible. So go back 0 and again here instead of 4, next thing is you can take 5 and check. See, we tried 3, so it was not helping. We tried 1 to 4, it was not helping. So now it will check for 5, 1 to 5. If you write 5, 2 to 5, there is an edge. Okay, so you can take 5, 2 to 5, there is an edge. And then here again, it will find out for 1. 1 is already there, 2 is already there. So we'll take 3. Okay, we'll take 3. But 5 to 3, there is no edge. 5 to 3, there is no edge. So 3 is not possible. Then we'll check for 4. 5 to 4, okay. 5 to 4, there is an edge. So we can take 4 here. And then we'll again come back to the final location. We'll check for vertex 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 already present. So we'll check for the vertex 3. Okay, 3. 4 to 3. 4 to 3, yes, there is an edge between 4 to 3. 4 to 3 edge is there. So take down that edge. When you are at the last position, just like previous cycle, here also you have to check x of n is 3 and x of 1, okay, that is 3 to 1. Okay, there is also edge between 3 to 1. You have to check whether 3 to n edge is there or not. If it is present, then it's a cycle. So we have found out one more cycle in the graph, that is 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, and then from 3 to 1. So we have identified one more cycle in this graph. Is it clear? Next, see, from 1 to 3 we checked. Next 1 to we checked all combination 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, 2 to 5. Next, again from 2 we have checked all this combination. So all the possible combination for 2 are over. Next from 1 to third vertex. Backtracking, it will go back. It will start from 1 to 3, 3 to 2, 3 to 4, 3 to 5, and it will check for all possible combination. And then 1 to 4, it will check, and then 1 to 5. So it will perform all the checks in that fashion. That is n-1 factorial times it will check for these position vertices. n-1 factorial is nothing but n vertices are there, 4 factorial times it will check for this combination. Tree will be very lengthy. Okay, you cannot keep tracking the tree, it will go very lengthy. Is it clear? To identify all the cycles, tree will become very lengthy. Is it clear? So I'll just stop here. We have identified the 2 cycles for this given graph. Okay. I'll just open the program. So this is the program. I'll run the program. It is asking enter the number of nodes. Number of nodes is 5. So it will ask for vertices, adjacency matrix you have to enter. Enter the adjacency matrix and then enter the starting node. So I will enter the starting node as 1. And you can see here it has listed all the cycles that are possible in this given graph. See, in our iteration, we have solved 2 iterations. So that first cycle was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1. Second iteration was 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, 1. Okay, these 2 iterations we have solved manually. And as I said, next iteration, it will go from 1 to 3 and then 1 to 4 and then 1 to 5. So that is the what 1 is the root node. From there, it will try to go in path 2, path 3, 4, and 5. So it will find out all the cycles that are present in that given graph. Is it clear? So this is Hamiltonian cycle using. Okay, I will not check for another graph which you can do. I'll just explain the program. See, from main we shall start. Read function. Read function is to read the input from the keyboard. That is, it will ask enter the number of nodes. N in N we'll store. Okay, we'll read that N number of vertices into N. That is S dot next in N is an integer value. We'll store that value in N. Next, G is the matrix, adjacency matrix. That is n plus 1 and 2-dimensional matrix will result. X is an array which will keep track of the cycles that are present in the graph. Then 2-dimensional array will be, we need 2 for loops to read the adjacency matrix. See, graph input is nothing but we have to input the adjacency matrix. That is for int I is equal to 1 to n and j is equal to row value, column value. So we'll go on reading the graph adjacency matrix values. And then it will ask for one more input, that is enter the starting node. Okay, enter the starting node. You have to enter from which node you have to start. And that value, I will store it in a variable called as start. In the program, wherever you see this variable start, it indicates that we have read the starting value into this variable start. So here I have entered the adjacency matrix. Starting vertex, I have given 1. Okay, that is read function. And then we'll call the Hamilton function. See, the same function which I have explained in the presentation. Okay, Hamilton function. And why 2 value here? Hamilton of 2. While calling this function, we have to pass a number that is from the second vertex in the X array. X is the array which keeps track of the cycle, as I said. So while calling that Hamilton function, we have to pass this value 2, because from the second position in the array, we'll start finding out the vertex which will be part of the cycle. Okay, Hamilton of 2. And found variable we have taken. If we have detected a cycle, then we'll set this function. If it is not set, then at the end of all the iterations, if found is not set, it will print this message: cycle does not exist in this given graph. Okay. Then we shall go to the Hamilton function. Hamilton function. Yeah. See, first value in the array x of 1. I have told we will take 1 there. 1 is nothing but here start vertex. Okay. starting vertex value. It may be 2, 3 or anything. For our explanation, I have taken it as 1. You can give any other vertices here. Okay, any other values. So x of 1, that first location, that root node will be that first value itself. Whatever starting vertex value you give, that will be the root node value. So x of 1 is equal to 1. From there we'll start. Everything is same. This print messages I have removed in that function. Okay, next value of k, it will call the next value function. Next value function, which will try to find out the next vertex in the given graph. And if k is equal to n, when you reach the last value in the array, and if it is equal to n, okay, if k is equal to n, okay, k value means last position of the array, 5. And when you reach that last position, this found, as I said, found, we will set it to true. Otherwise, by default, we have taken it as false. Found is equal to false. If we found, see, once we come to this condition, means obviously, if the cycle is detected, then only we'll come to this condition. So I will make this found as true, and we'll print Hamilton cycle path is. Okay, that cycle path is obviously present in the array X. You have to print that array elements one by one. So I have taken the for loop. In the presentation, I have just explained it. I have just given the print statement, but here you have to print the entire array. So take for loop. So print the entire array. It will go on printing with this arrow mark. Once that entire array is printed, in array, you just have these 4 values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 values are present in the array. But in the end, we have to print this 1 also. So I have taken this print statement again, and it is outside the for loop. Okay, be careful here. It should be outside the for loop. In the exam, if you write it inside the for loop, 1 will be displayed again and again. So it should come outside the for loop, because in the end, we have to print that 1 also. That is starting vertex. If it is 2, it will print 2. Is it clear? So first it will print all the array elements. It will come out of the for loop, and it will print the starting vertex also. So it will print one more value. Okay. So after first cycle, it will go for the next cycle, k plus 1. So it will keep repeating. And next value, there is no change here. Whatever I have explained, same thing is present here. Okay, here it will check whether there is an edge between the current vertex and the previous vertex. And this condition will check whether there is an edge between the last vertex, that is the last value in the array, and the starting vertex. Okay, so see, this program is very simple. Only thing is these parts, these 2 functions are very important, and most of you will make the mistake in this part itself. Okay, if you have not understood the program, then chances are there that you will make the mistakes here. Try to remember it along with the logic. Okay, if you just by heart, you'll definitely forget the program. Otherwise, the program is very simple. Important thing is read function. Anyhow, we are doing the read function. Almost it is same in all the programs, all 10 programs or 7 to 8 programs. We are reading the matrix, adjacency matrix. So there is no chances that you'll make mistake at those part. Only thing is be careful about these 2 functions, Hamilton function and next value function. Okay. So this is the lab program for the Hamiltonian. That is, I guess, 12th lab program to identify the Hamiltonian cycle in the given undirected graph. Okay. So today afternoon I will not take lab as I have covered the program here only. So what you need to do is see, since I have traced only for these 2 cycles, in the lab program, what you must do is you have to trace the program for this graph as well as for this graph. As I said, afternoon there will be no lab. Since there will be no lab, already I have covered this. You have to do the program. You have to execute the program, and manually you have to trace the program. See, you have to trace the program like this, step by step. You have to show me the values of the array X, how it changes, how this state space. See, this is how it changes. It will become 5, 0, and then it will check. It will check for new values. Okay. This is how you have to trace the program, and you have to write down and you have to upload it in the Google Classroom for these two graphs. Is it clear? All of you have to execute the program, run the program, give these two graph as the input, write down the output, take the screenshot of the output. In the Google Classroom, you have to upload the tracing for these two graphs. Okay, you have to do the tracing manually, and you have to upload the tracing for these two graphs. You have to upload the source code, output a screenshot of the output, as well as tracing. See, you have entire half day to do that. Okay, by night 10, you have to trace this and upload the output. Is it clear? So that is about Hamiltonian cycle. All of you mark your attendance. See, same attendance I will consider for theory as well as for lab. Okay, all of you quickly mark your attendance. Okay, same attendance I will consider for theory as well as for and don't be late. Okay, don't submit your assignment late. By 10 o'clock, you people just submit the assignment, trace the program and submit the assignment. Okay, tracing also you have to upload. Okay, okay, fast. Mark your attendance. So I'll stop here. Afternoon, I will not take lab. Okay, now only I will tell you. Okay, thank you.